Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This video is going to be about how to validate your family tree using your DNA results. And it'll work for Ancestry, 23andMe, whoever you've done your results for, but we're going to be dealing with Ancestry. Now, here is my family tree from when I was young. My current birth certificate says my father is Joe Bob Jones and my mother is Linda Wright and I'm Larry Dwayne Jones. So this was my tree growing up. But when I'm 24 years old, my mother comes up to me and says, hey, your real birth father was Dwight Neil Basie, and you're named after his two brothers, Larry and Dwayne. So for 30 years, I painstakingly made sure that I got all of this information correct. I double checked, triple checked, census reports, as you can see here. I was very proud of that information. But now family trees, they fall into different categories. And let's look at those real quick. Every tree falls into one of these four categories. You have your low accuracy, low precision, and this is usually someone who has a name that's similar to a royal. You know, they go back 5 generations or 4 generations, and they know in their heart that they're connected to this royal family. So they just make the leaps and bounds and throw together some connections, and then they upload the tree. And so when we're looking at it, we're like, we find some information, this isn't correct. And we've all seen that tree. The others are trees like this. They're low accuracy, high precision, which means they are precise. And, people have been very painstakingly to make sure that these are precise trees, but they're just not accurate to their family, their biological family. Then we have the high accuracy, but low precision. This is their family, except that they've transposed some information. Let's say that it's 1851, but they put 1857, or they, swapped the numbers in the middle and then they've got 1587. So these are high accuracy but low precision. And then we all aspire up here to get the high accuracy, high precision tree. So here I have my Dwight Basie tree, and I take an ancestry test. Well, as a result of the ancestry test, nobody in that family was related to me by DNA. And in fact, I found out that this was my biological family, the Brown family. And so I had to research it and go through again, making sure that I was precise and accurate. And I developed some methods to use to verify each one of those nodes to make sure each node I wasn't just accepting because they told me, because I'm tired of people telling me, and the papers, even birth certificates. I mean, let's think about this for a second. On the Dwight Basie side, I've got an adoption record that says he's my father. I've got a birth certificate that's sealed by the courts that I've seen, says that he's my father. I've got an obituary, says he's my father. I've got my mom's marriage, shows he's my father. I've got, my address, on the birth certificate where I was, being their address, verifies he's my father. I have pictures of him holding me in the hospital. I have a video of him bringing me home when I was 2 days old. I have eyewitness accounts of family. This is my father. There is every paper trail in the world that would stand up in court that this man is my father. However, he's not my biological father. So just because you find, dozens and dozens of proofs, paper proofs that this is indeed your connection, I just got to say it. It may not be. And I'm living evidence that, you can have a birth certificate. I've got 2 birth certificates. One that's my legal one that I use. The other one that's court sealed. And neither one of those are my real family tree. So how do you get to your real family tree? And that's a great question. And the way you do it is you have to go to a website. This is the best place to start. You go to this website. It's dnajedcom.com. I don't get any, reference points for them. I get no money from it. In fact, they don't even know I'm referring there. They probably wonder where the traffic comes from. But if you go to this website, they have a client you can download if you subscribe. And I think the subscription was like $5 a month. I don't know what it is now. I haven't checked. But with that client, you can actually download your information. And with that, you can get a whole bunch of good stuff. So you download the client and install it, and it'll look like this. And you can download from Ancestry, MyHeritage, 23andMe, FTDNA, and we're going to deal with Ancestry. So if you click on Ancestry, you enter your username and password and log in. If you administer multiple DNA tests, they'll show up here by profile, and you just use the drop down to select the one that the tree you're going to validate. Click Gather Matches. And once you do that, you come up with a spreadsheet. Well, actually, you get an Excel or a CSV, and you just pull it into Excel, turn it into a table, And you're going to need to add this one column, and this is closest shared common relative. I recommend you call it MRCA, or most recent common ancestor. I didn't do it on mine, but that seems to be the standard going forward. And I think the more standardization we have in our community, the better off we are. So MRCA, or most recent common ancestor, it's the same thing. It's the closest shared relative. So my mother took the DNA test. Obviously, she's the closest you can get as a parent-child. The next one was my aunt, and we share grandparents. And this is my half aunt. We share one grandparent. And so I went through all the people. These are the people right here that are on the DNA match list from, Ancestry. So if I go here and I go up to, go up to the matches, all these people that are on my match list here are the people that got imported over into the spreadsheet. Okay. And so I'm going to look at a couple of names here. You see this person is at the great-grandparent level, Nancy and MM. And here's another one that matches at the level, Cherry. Okay. So we're going to look at these people in our tree again. So we go to the through lines. And so there's the MM, and there's Sherry. And then over here, here's Nancy. And so this bears out. Through lines is really nice. It stitched together this DNA tree for me. And it helps to verify the information that I already have. Now, that's important. It's the information that I already have. You can't just say, okay, I've got this information. You've got to go over to your spreadsheet and find the list of your matches. And you have to do this by hand. This is a manual process. You can't just trust through lines. Now, through lines can be a great verification, or if you don't know how they work, you can do it with through lines. When I did this, I didn't have through lines. Through lines, gives you this great cheat. You can pop it up, and if they're there, then you can, query and find out exactly where they are real quick. So what took me 6 months to do and verify with phone calls and emails with through lines, you can probably do in the course of a month or two. So, through lines is a great tool if you use it right. So again, the only way that you can validate your family tree is to go through there and match the tree with the DNA. So if I was to match this tree with DNA, not one person would match. Through lines wouldn't show any matches. I know some people have asked, hey, I don't have any matches. This tree would not have any matches with me because there are none of these people who have descendants who have made trees that are DNA related to me that also have trees. If I was to make this one, okay, the same thing would happen, except you notice that right here it says DNA verified, DNA verified, DNA verified. All right, these people at the parent, grandparent, great-great, so we're at the two great-grandparent level. These people actually do have a connection to me through this new tree. But now that I understand the centimorgans, it's not exactly at the distance that I thought. So they're at a much different distance. So this is my biological family tree. And you notice that, from the first one, okay, I got my mother, my father's line's completely different. And again, my father's line's completely different. And again, my father's line's completely different. Now, all of these are highly precise trees. You can go and check. In fact, the Basie family is currently the most accurate Basie family tree in existence. And I'm happy for that. It's just not my biological family. So take the time, go to DNA GEDCOM, get the tool, download your DNA matches. I mean, you could just manually write them down if you want to save, time and money, but I think time-wise, the $5, if you don't have the $5, maybe you can copy and paste that page into Excel and work from that way, although it'll copy in a whole bunch of other stuff and it'll take you a lot of time to clean that up. But if you want a nice, clean output, go to the DNA, GEDCOM, download the tool, get with the tool, and doing so, you'll get this. Click on the service of your choice, log in, get the information, and get to the spreadsheet. And so once you get to that spreadsheet, then you'll be able to work with the data. Verify every one of the nodes, and that is really the only way that you can make sure that your family tree is accurate. Again, proof in point. I've got a birth certificate my current birth certificate shows this is my father, therefore my family tree. I've got a court-sealed adoption that shows that this is my father. And of course, I've got census records, even a video. If you want to see the video, it's in the SAR presentation that's in the channel. It's like a little 1-minute video. It shows him bringing me home from the hospital when I was 2 days old. Everything in the world says that this man's my father, except DNA shows there was a one-night stand situation, and he's not my biological father. This is my biological family. Now, that creates a whole new situation. You know, maybe we make a video on my 3 dads. So I got to tell you, you know, the DNA, it should come with a big warning sign. Well, it does. It should come with a bigger one. I still would have pressed the button to send in the DNA, but I got to tell you, folks, be careful of the results. You know, once you start cross-referencing this, my advice up front is be careful. Warning, warning, warning. You may find things that you kind of wish you hadn't. You know, in some ways, I look back and I wish I hadn't taken the DNA test. I was happy to go to the grave with, you know, the family history that I'd researched for 30 years. And I was just happy with that. But that wasn't my biological family. And so now I have a new biological family, happy with that, happy to know the truth. And now I've been able to take these tools and verify all of my family. There are no more surprises coming up. I use the same tips and techniques that, you know, I did all the trees with before, but now I'm cross-referencing with DNA so that there are no mistakes going forward, and my kids and grandkids and everybody that's descended will have an accurate tree from which to work from. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know why. And if you don't mind, subscribe. It helps. And if there's anything you'd like to see in a future video, leave that also in the comments below. All right. You guys have a great day.